Hello everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be showing off my entire Xbox collection of games, both physical and digital, as of May 7th, 2020. So as you can see here, I got my entire stack of Xbox 360 and Xbox One titles sprinkled in between. I'm going to be showing the games off in the order of purchase. So let's start over with this stack over here. All right, so when I got my system back in early March of 2018, which was almost exactly two years and 2 months ago, I got 3 dozen games with it, along with an Xbox 360 console and several controllers. Now, since then, I've sold off most of those games, and the leftover I have is really just a handful right here. I got 007 Everything or Nothing on original Xbox, NHL 06, and I think, yeah, despite saying NHL 07, this is actually an NBA game. I think this is pretty much it for what I originally had of that 3 dozen games. Everything else I traded in, I sold, and some of the games I bought included the original Titanfall. I played this quite a bit. I got max. I think not too long ago I got to the highest level that you can reach in the game. I think it's fine, but obviously I can see why a lot of people felt that this was a glorified demo, because there's not a lot of content. I mean, there's not even a single player mode. I will be showing off some of my games that I have digitally, including the ones that are on Game Pass and EA Access, for which this is also included. Next up, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I have yet to actually play this game since getting it. But it is the Game of the Year edition, so I got all the DLC. The Orange Box. Again, I haven't played this since buying it like 2 years ago, so I don't really have anything to say. Other than, oh right, actually, hang on a second. Yeah, most of the games I have in this, most of the Xbox 360 games you see are in fact backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So you can play this on your Xbox One. Just make sure to put the second disc in first if you want to have all the DLC. But yeah, they do generally run better, supposedly. Next up, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and its predecessor Vegas 1. I have yet to actually play these games. And Warfighter, I only played a little bit. Next game, Jade Empire for the original Xbox. Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. Have yet to play this. I tried playing the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, but I couldn't really get in. But I stopped playing. It feels so dated to me. Maybe I'll try again later. Who knows? Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Legacy Pro Edition. This comes with Infinite Warfare plus Modern Warfare Remastered, as well as the Season Pass for Infinite Warfare. I got this for about $50. I even did a video on it. You got a steelbook case and as well as the code for the Season Pass. Also, unlike the PlayStation 4 version of the Legacy Pro Edition, Modern Warfare Remastered, it is technically on the disc, but that is to say, the code is on the disc. The activation code is on the disc itself. So when you put it into your console, you will be asked to download Modern Warfare Remastered, which I think it's like 70, somewhere in the ballpark of 70 gigabytes. That's a lot, but still, it's better than a PS4 version where it just comes with a download code for Modern Warfare Remastered, meaning if you got a new copy of this edition of the game, you don't get Modern Warfare Remastered on that console. The Darkness, I barely just started playing this, don't really have much to say. Crackdown. Yes, Crackdown. I actually got this for free recently with Xbox Games with Gold. I've been meaning to try it out, but, well, I'm aware that the games kind of get worse, especially Crackdown 3. I've seen footage of that game. That does not look like, that looks like that game does not look as good as it should. Rage. Oh wait, hang on. Yeah, I missed one. Oh, Time Shift. Yeah, I haven't really played this, so I can't really say much. I think the developers for this game are actually bankrupt now, from what I heard. Rage. They actually released a sequel for this not too long ago. Heard this game and its sequel got a lukewarm reception. They were not bad, but not great either. And next three, Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty 2 was actually the first Call of Duty game I played and completed. On PC, anyways. I got this copy like a year or two ago, and I started playing a bit. It's still a really fun game all these years later. Really, and you know a game, and you know you've done, and you know as a developer you've done good when a game is still fun, a decade and a half later. Quake 4, now this is not actually compatible with the Xbox One. I was really hoping they would add it, but they didn't. But it does, but as you can see on the back, it also comes with Quake 2 as a bonus. Ninja Gaiden 3. Unfortunately, I actually printed off this cover myself because it didn't come with one, but Ninja Gaiden 3, unfortunately, I bought the disc, I did not test it, and as a result, I found it was only months later that I found out the disc doesn't work. So luckily I paid like maybe a couple bucks for this. So I did lose a couple bucks, but still, I'm hoping that maybe someday in the future they do make this backwards compatible. I know the updated port, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, is backwards compatible, but the base original game is not. And I'm hoping that they do make it backwards compatible because that way, because the way backwards compatibility works, you don't actually, the games don't actually run off the disc. They just check the disc, and then they actually go and download the actual game from and your console will download the actual game from the store. That's generally how it works. All right, so that's one pile down, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's carefully. There we go. Next game, Tomb Raider Underworld. Now this is a franchise I've been meaning to really get into, but I just haven't come around to playing it. It really comes down to me being completely unsure of which game to start with. Do I start with the reboot trilogy? Do I start with the first reboot trilogy? I really don't know. Next up, Saints Row 2. Have yet to play this. Again, I printed the art for it because it didn't come with one. I actually had the first game, but then I had the first game, tried it, didn't really like it, and then I just sold it. Next up, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles Edition. This comes with the base game and a code for Zombie Chronicles, which includes 8 remastered maps from the previous titles. I was really looking forward to playing this, but unfortunately I had a lot of trouble finding games, and for the longest time I thought it was my internet that was the problem, but no, it's just that the multiplayer is very much dead. Thankfully, I recently got into some games, but it's really hit or miss with the multiplayer. Next up, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I've been meaning to finish this. I played Far Cry 2 and 3. I just need to get I really want to get through this. Yes, I started playing it, I stopped playing it. I really ought to finish this because there's a good game in here. And if you play, and unlike Far Cry 3, this game did not get a current gen release. It is backwards compatible, and thankfully because of that, the game runs much better than it ever did, because it suffered a lot of screen tearing frame rate drops upon its original release. So playing it on Xbox One, definitely the better experience. Oh yeah, and I should mention that this Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, at least where I live, is not sold separately. I happen to find this in a used game store. Normally this comes in a compilation called Far Cry Compilation, which comes with Far Cry 2, 3, and Blood Dragon. The PlayStation 3 version of the compilation has all 3 games built onto one Blu-ray, of course. You just got to install them onto the console. Next up, Call of Duty World at War. This was the last, for the longest time, the last World War II era Call of Duty title for like 9 years, for almost a full decade. And I gotta say, this really laid the groundwork for future Black Ops titles. You know, the zombies modes, having a campaign that's interconnected, so on and so forth. I actually have had multiple different versions. This is one game that I have had multiple different versions of. I had the PC version, which I played first, and I think I had the PS3 version, and then now the Xbox version. Oh yeah, and also the PS2 companion game, which is not very good. And speaking of which, Black Ops 3, I up until recently I had the last gen port. I actually have a better time finding games in the PS3 version than the Xbox One version. I don't know what else to say. That is just incredible. That is bizarre. Next up, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Now, this edition of the game specifically comes with the soundtrack disc. So if you just want to listen to the soundtrack, there you can do that without playing the game. As for the game itself, well, I've yet to actually play this. I think I tried the demo of this on PS3, didn't really like it, couldn't get into it all that much. But hopefully I can, especially since they made this available. Especially since I technically have 2 copies. I have this physical copy, and then they made the game free with Xbox Games with Gold at one time. So I now have a physical and digital version. Next up, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I first bought this on PS3, and this game I had a lot of fun with. When I first played it on PS3, I got it left a foul taste in my mouth because I was playing the campaign and the game would crash at a very specific point, and as a result, I had to go back and return the copy of the game I got. But for what I played with the PS3 version, it was really fun. But you could really tell that they just they developed this for current gen platforms, and then backported it to the last generation consoles, because everything on the PS3 looks a lot more blurrier than it should be, a lot more pixelated. I mean. But yeah, if you're gonna play Advanced Warfare, the current gen versions are the way to go. But if you only have last gen systems, then I think, especially compared to Black Ops 3, it's still serviceable. So next up we got Crysis 3. They recently announced that Crysis was getting remastered on current generation platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, which is really neat. So I hopefully this means they remaster the other 2 titles, and maybe we'll get a Crysis 4. Maybe. I've yet to actually play this, so maybe maybe when the remaster comes out, it'll be a good opportunity to finally play the games. Because I know these games were very technically demanding when they were first originally released. In fact, playing on Xbox One would offer you the better experience because boy, this game suffers from a lot of screen tearing and frame rate drops. Next three titles are Assassin's Creed games: Assassin's Creed 3, Brotherhood, and Revelations. Now, I should mention that I think I had like three different, like 4 different copies of Assassin's Creed 3. Two on, like I had I got the game for free on PC when Ubisoft was giving it away. I got the PlayStation 3. Yeah, I got the PlayStation 3 Signature Edition, which came with for like $5. Even came with a season pass code and everything. And then I got it again with the Americas Collection on PS3, and now I got it on Xbox 360. And now they've announced, and now as of this video, they have a remastered version on Xbox One. So I really don't know which version I should play. I mean, the remastered version, I suppose, but there are some changes made that may or may not make the game better. Who knows? Now, as for Brotherhood and Revelations, I actually bought the Ezio collection, which I'll show off in a minute. Show off a little later on my. But yeah, the multiplayer modes. I think. Hang on. This is a one-player. Yeah, I think the multiplayer modes for both these games have been completely gutted in the remastered version on Xbox One. So if you want to play the multiplayer, these are the original release is the only way. All right, Modern Warfare 3, the last Modern Warfare game before Modern Warfare 2019. I played a lot of this game, quite a bit, on both Xbox 3. I'm sorry, on PlayStation 3. Not so much on Xbox 360. Assassin's Creed 2, again, I also have this on Xbox One through the Ezio collection. And actually, now that I think about it, this is actually the Assassin's Creed 2 was the first game I ever owned for the PlayStation 3 back in 2014, and I have yet to actually complete it. In fact, I just started with the Ezio collection recently. Splinter Cell Double Agent. Again, Splinter Cell is a game franchise that I've been meaning to get into, but haven't. I should mention that that this game actually got 2 separate versions. The Xbox 360 version and the original Xbox version are 2 totally different games. Oh yeah, actually now that I think about it, I do actually own the game on Wii as well. I just remember that. Next game, Grand Theft Auto Escape from Liberty City. I recently sold my copy of GTA 4, so I don't know if I'm going to even play this. I'm sad to say I'm not really into Grand Theft Auto all that much, unfortunately. I just haven't. I tried Grand Theft Auto 3 on PS2, couldn't get into it, and I don't know how I did try a bit of Grand Theft Auto 5 recently through Game Pass. And they just unfortunately they've announced that they're also removing it, so looks like I'll have to get into it another time. Prince of Persia, the precursor to Assassin's Creed. I'll definitely get into this eventually. Next up, Red Dead Redemption. Now this is actually, now despite what it says here this is really just an Xbox 360 game that was made backwards compatible. Comes with all the DLC, and it's also a game I've barely played. I think they actually just made the second game available on Game Pass, which is pretty neat. So yeah. Next up, we have The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition. I really enjoyed the Netflix TV show. I would like to get into the games, but as of this moment, the first game is not currently available for current gen platforms. I mean, maybe I'll just start here, I suppose, or play Witcher 3. I really, this is definitely a game franchise I really gotta start playing. Silent Hill Homecoming. I don't really have much to say about this because I haven't really played it. I haven't played it at all, sorry. Next up, Crysis 2. Same with Crysis 3. I haven't played that. This one I haven't played either. Darkness 2. A lot of these games that I'm going to be showing I haven't played. Future Soldier, again, haven't played. Better with Kinect, as if. Spec Ops: The Line. I heard this game was really good. I think I actually started playing this on PC. Maybe the PS3, can't remember. But unfortunately, I don't. Fortunately, this is another game that's one of the that I haven't really played and finished yet. I'll get to it eventually, in due time. Now this is a game I have played more times than necessary. I played this on my modded Wii many years ago. Then I got the PS3 version, then I got the PS2 version, and now the Xbox 360 version. So I played this game a total of 4 times. I played every single console version, and I've had a fun time. But that being said, I can really start to see a lot of this game's flaws now. I enjoy the daytime stages. Nighttime stages, I can do without. I've been meaning to actually get 100%, get all the achievements in this game. I actually did that for the PS3 version of the game a while ago, so maybe I'll do that again for this. Next up, Final Fantasy 13. I heard this was a very divisive entry in the franchise, and it's also one that it's also a franchise that I've been very on the fence about because for the most part, every single numbered entry is its own standalone experience, and as a result, I really don't know where I stand on where I want to start with this franchise. I mean, I also own Final Fantasy X, and I think Final Fantasy VI, and a couple others, which I'll be showing off in a moment, but I just don't know where to start. Somebody please, if you guys know which game I should start with, please let me know in the comments. Next up, Batman Arkham Origins. I played this first on PS3 and now played it on Xbox. Again, like Sonic Unleashed, I played the game multiple times. I played it first on PS3 and then played it again on Xbox 360. The game looks slightly different on both consoles. I'm not sure why. But I should mention that if you have the Xbox 360 version, it does look... you are missing out on the Adam West exclusive content. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But other than that, it's very much the same game. And compared to other Arkham games, it feels like being developed by a completely different studio, Warner Brothers Montreal. It feels about the same as Arkham City. It feels the quality's there. It's just not. It just feels a little more emptier. I can agree with the sentiment that it's good, but it's about as good as its predecessor, but nothing better. Next 3 games: Lost Planet 3. Have yet to play this. Battlefield 3. I actually started playing this on Xbox 360. I actually just started playing this on my Xbox One recently through EA Access. So really, had no reason to get a physical copy. I just thought maybe I was hoping the code for this was actually good, but it's not. I also have this on PS3, which I started playing on a lot, like probably 4 years ago, but never bothered finishing the campaign. That is, Lost Planet Extreme Conditioning. Have yet to play this. All right, so we're almost half an hour, close to the half an hour mark. I might actually just do the digital games for another video. So let's move on to my final pile of games. All right, final pile of games. Call of Duty World War II. This is a game this is one of the few Call of Duty games I've yet to actually play the campaign for. I've been meaning to get to it, but I'm going to be honest, the World War II setting didn't really interest me, especially since it's just covering the American campaign again. Really, we've seen this done so many times before, guys. If you're going to do a World War II game, focus on the other areas that barely get talked about. Next up, Just Cause 2. I've been meaning to get into this franchise, just haven't. I contemplated getting the first game, but I heard the first game isn't all that great, or hasn't aged well, I should say. Prey. This was before the recent reboot on current gen platforms. Don't know when I'll get to this game. Pure. This was actually made by Disney, and actually, yeah, Disney was involved with this, and it's a racing game. It's a very big world, from what I've heard, and don't really have much to say. Child of Eden, better with Kinect. I do not have any opinions on this game. Now, next up, we have the first 3 Splinter Cell games, which as of this moment are compatible on the Xbox One. And now I actually got the game originally on PC for free, because Ubisoft was giving it away for free, but then I got stuck in one part of the game, and then I looked it up, and have since, they kind of put me off. Hate it when I have to look up how to get through certain parts of the game. But I'll be sure to get back to the franchise eventually. Next up, this is Lost Planet Extreme Conditioning again, but this is the Colonies edition. Comes with it's basically an updated port. Really, I've been meaning to play this again, but haven't. Next up, Sonic Generations. This is a game I played multiple times. I think twice on PlayStation 3, once on Xbox, and once on Xbox 360. I actually own all versions of this game. I have it on PS3, Xbox 360, PC, and the 3DS version. I actually have 2 copies on the Xbox 360. Like Metal Gear Rising, I bought a physical copy, and then they made it free with Games with Gold at 1 month. So, yeah. I spent $20 only to find out that the game is now available for free. Oh well. It's still a really good game though, and I highly recommend it. One of the best 3D Sonic games, period. Next game, Ninja Gaiden 2. Have yet to actually play this game. Prince of Persia, again, haven't played this franchise. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Haven't played it. Oh, and for the record, guys, I should mention that most of these games, I got them dirt cheap because basically in the last year or so, EB Games has been selling off their inventory of last generation titles, and as such, they've had all these insane sales. Like, I think they had one time, buy one get 6 free, which was just incredible, and I took advantage of a lot of these deals that they had. That's how I was able to get a lot of these games, or I should say a lot of these games dirt cheap. So as you can see here, we got Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy. Have yet to play this. Been meaning to, but haven't. Also, going back to what I was just saying, it is because of all the sales. That's why I kind of put off making this video. So as you can see here, I got Zone of the Enders HD Collection. I got that dirt cheap as well. Unfortunately, because they were selling it off, some of these games did not have actual cases, or they didn't have the original box art. They just came in these shrink wraps, and that's it. Next up, Hitman Absolution. Again, haven't played. Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition. Have yet to play this. Tom Clancy's EndWar. I heard they were going to make a sequel to this, but then it got canceled because this game didn't sell very well. Hawks, this got a sequel in 2010. I don't think they're going to make a new entry anytime soon for this. It's been like 10 years. Frontlines, Fuel of War, don't have anything to say about this, other than it's backwards compatible. Borderlands, okay, this is an interesting one. So, they actually released the Xbox One version of this game. Sorry, they remastered this game for current-gen platforms. In fact, it's getting released on on Nintendo Switch later this month. But interestingly enough, every single version of this game suffers from some sort of screen tearing or frame rate drops. However, if you play this game play the Xbox 360 version on an Xbox One, the screen tearing problem is eliminated, and it also runs maintains the 30 frames per second a lot better. But if you go to the Xbox One version, while it does run at 60 frames, not only does it exhibit some drops, but there's also screen tearing. I mean, you'd think that for the remaster they fixed that, but no. I gotta play the Xbox 360 version just to avoid the screen tearing. It kind of sucks. But on the plus side, you can transfer your data from the original Xbox 360 version to the Xbox One version. Same thing for the PlayStation 3, and same thing for PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. Next up, Syndicate. I've yet to play this, but I hear this game didn't do so well for EA, unfortunately. In terms of sales figures, same with this game. I heard this game was a commercial disappointment for THQ. They lost quite a bit of money on this game, and I think shortly afterwards they ended up having to declare bankruptcy and selling off a lot of their assets to a company called Nordic Games and various other companies as well. But Nordic Games ended up buying a lot of their IPs, and so much so that they decided to rebrand themselves THQ Nordic, and they have recently been re-releasing a lot of THQ's old games. In fact, they're actually planning on releasing SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated soon, which is a remake of the original game all the way back from, I think, the mid-2000s. So that's pretty neat. Enchanted Arms. Have yet to play this. Next up, Unreal Tournament 3. One of the few franchises that Epic Games made titles for until Fortnite happened. Ace Combat 6. Have yet to play this, but I've been meaning to. Much like everything else. Halo 3 ODST, the Xbox 360 version. They recently made... Honestly, I just got this just to have a physical copy of this. But in fact, I got a lot of these games because for the most part, I flip-flop a lot from having a digital to physical library, and this was one of the victims. You can actually get this right now through the Master Chief Collection, which is available on Xbox Game Pass right now. And as of the recording of this video, they just announced Halo 2 is being made available on PC for the first time in a decade and a half or so. So that's neat. Borderlands 2, this is the Xbox 360 version. Much like the original game, you can transfer your data over to the remastered version. And much like the first game, it's also getting a release on Switch later this month. Brutal Legend. I got this game I forgot that what I did not realize was that I got this for free on PC and then bought this game. I just didn't realize that they were the same games, but yeah. I've yet to actually play this, or the PC version for that matter. Next up, Enslaved. Don't know much about this, other than it's done by Namco. BioShock Infinite. Yes, BioShock Infinite. I got this game originally for my on PlayStation 3. My friend lent me a copy, which I've yet to return. But you can very much just play. Again, like Borderlands, it is getting a remaster on Switch, which makes it much more difficult for me to decide which version of the game I want to play. Do I play the Xbox 360 version on my Xbox One? Do I do I play the game through the BioShock collection, which is on the Xbox One, or do I wait for the Switch version? I can't decide. I'll have to see how the Switch version turns out. And I should mention, and much like Borderlands, the game actually runs better. This game actually runs better to some extent when you play the Xbox 360 version on an Xbox One. Yeah, weird. Saints Row the Third full package. This is Saints Row 3, basically with all the DLC. Just make sure to install the second game. Install, because it comes on 2 discs. One disc for one. Okay, because this game comes on 2 discs, make sure you install the second insert the second game disc on your Xbox One first, so that way you get all the DLC. Otherwise, it just gives you the base game. Next up, BioShock 1 and 2. Not much to say differently other than I don't have much else to say that hasn't already been said about Infinite, although now that I think about it, you can, if you own a PS3, some copies of BioShock Infinite on PS3 came with BioShock on it. In fact, that's how I have the original BioShock. They also released a compilation of sorts called BioShock Ultimate Rapture Edition. Comes with all the DLC for BioShock 1 and 2, and it was released originally on PS3 and Xbox 360. So there's that. That's also an option. Lost Planet 2, don't have anything to say about that. Yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider's Legend. This was, I think, the first or second game in the first reboot before they did the second reboot with in 2013. You don't have much to I have yet to play this and I don't have much to say other than that I think like Underworld, this got a last generation. This was made, actually no. This got a last generation port and it plays much differently. It's interesting how during the transition to the 7th gen consoles, these games they made 2 separate versions of the same game. So you'd have one version of the game that completely takes advantage of the current tech at the time, current technology, and then the other version that also takes advantage of last generation hardwares, your Xbox, PS2, and GameCube hardware. And I gotta say, it was a weird time to be a gamer. Must have been a weird time anyway. Must have been a weird time to be a gamer. Next up, Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition. This comes on 2 discs, so make sure to install the second insert the second game disc first on your Xbox One to get all the DLC. As for the franchise itself, it's one that I've been meaning to get into, just haven't come around to. And finally, I have a second copy of Red Dead Redemption. I actually got this for $5, $5 measly bucks, and even comes with pretty much everything on it. Comes with the map, comes with comes with both discs. Yeah, and not really much to say other than I got a really awesome deal on this. And finally, I'm going to show off this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a 20 gigabyte Xbox 360 top loader hard drive. Well, I got 2 of them actually, and as you can see on the price tag, if I can just get this to zoom, I got this for, yeah, there we go. I got this for a measly, I got these hard drives for less than 50 cents a piece, which is just incredible. And no joke, here's the hard drive. Here it is. Just sitting there. I don't actually know. Because I don't own an Xbox 360, the top loader versions, I don't know if they work or not. So I'm just selling them off to somebody who wants them. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for my physical collection of Xbox titles. I will cover the digital titles later in a separate video. So if you like what you see, as usual, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Take care.